And here he is, as we said, name our panel, 10th best, most impactful player in Sacramento Kings history, Reggie Theus. How are you today, Reggie?
I'm well. What about you guys?
What's up, Reggie? It's Kyle Draper, man. What's happening, baby? How you been?
Man, listen. I don't know what's going on over there, but you must be doing all right if you're in there.
Oh, I like to hear that. This is my guy. Me and Reggie go back, obviously Sacramento, but back in Louisville when he's assistant coach there with Rick Pitino, so we no doubt go back. Happy to have you on, Reg.
Yeah, no, listen, Sacramento's like home for me, so anytime I can get a chance to holler at you guys, it's always a lot of fun.
Well, we appreciate that, and we were just talking about the fact that we assembled a panel, some fans, sign lady, Henry Turner, media people, and because the Kings are coming up on their 40th year.
Henry Turner.
Yeah, the high flyer. Yeah. We asked people to.
Last time I remember Henry Turner, he had just competed in the beer guzzling contest when we were his rookie year, and I could just remember him throwing up afterwards.
What? Oh, this is the first time I heard this, Reggie. Tell me more. What was this? Explain this to me.
This is a long time ago. If I tell you everything, I have to kill you. So let's let it go.
Anyway, Reggie, this panel ended up naming you 10th most influential and best King in Sacramento Kings history. And, given that you were one of the original Kings, I thought that's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. That's something phenomenal, actually. I think that our team and our section was kind of like the forgotten group. And so that's amazing. I know that when we first came to Sacramento, we grew with Sacramento. The city changed. Fans stayed incredible the entire time. But, I was just there a few weeks ago, and I just marvel at how much things have changed. And I remember when they were thinking about the team not going to be there, where they're going to lose the team. And I went on the radio. I went somewhere. I forget where I was. They said, "Hey, you guys must not remember what it was like in Sacramento before the Kings." So but what a love relationship that the Kings have had with the fans, and that is a real honor because I always felt like that our group, because it was the first group, and obviously so much success happened after that, but it happens on the backs of the old guys that were there first. So listen, coming from one of those old guys, I'm just very appreciative. It makes me even love Sacramento even more now.
Reggie, take me back to that move from Kansas City to Sacramento. I mean, you started off your career in the big city of Chicago. You go to Kansas City, then you come to Sacramento. Just what was the environment, the vibe like when the team first landed here?
And you can be honest, because we remember that. We know it wasn't all easy for all you guys.
Listen, I think the thing that I've always enjoyed about Sacramento, and some people probably enjoy that about me or not, I've always joked and had fun with the great things about Sacramento, but it's also the funny things about Sacramento. The funny things are the funny things, and that's the way it goes. I have to apologize, guys. I'm getting takeout at Outback, so
Okay.
She's walking over here now. So
you eating good, huh, Reg? You eating good, man. Got that blooming onion.
On an athletic director's and a basketball coach salary, I should be eating over at the Sizzler. Anyway.
Yeah. I want to ask you about one of those funny things. I've heard stories, and maybe this is two stories put together. Maybe it's not true, but I've heard that you, in the early days here, used to bow and arrow hunt pheasant in like the ground surrounding Arco Arena. Is there any truth to that?
No. Well, yes and no. Okay. So I used to shotgun hunt on my way to practice pheasant back in the day. Not bow and arrow.
Okay. All right.
The bow and arrow is a pretty amazing thing. I'm good, but I ain't that good. But yeah, no, Jonesy used to clean them. Would clean them by the time I got out of practice and take them home. So it's a pretty.
Wow.
Listen, that is the epitome of being family, and that's what we were all about. It was family. We all loved each other, and it was a great thing. I just had to make sure that I was, a certain distance off the highway so I wouldn't get in trouble with the cops.
That's awesome. That's a good story. Reggie, I'm looking at the roster from your first year here in SAC, and I'm looking at the names. the Larry Drews, the Eddie Johnson,
Good team.
LaSalle Thompson, Otis Thorpe, Mike Woodson. What happened with that team? I know you guys made the playoffs, but take me back there.
I want to tell you this first of all, that half of our team are still really good friends, by the way.
Ooh, okay.
I see Eddie and Mike all the time. I play golf with Otis Thorpe. I see LaSalle all the time. Drew's coaching in the NBA, so we bump into each other all the time. But that team stayed close for a long time. I was just texting back and forth. And, Joe Klein was a coach for a while, so we've all stayed relatively close over the years. And that doesn't happen in the NBA, and that just is a tribute to the time that we had there, and just the fans, and we all love being in Sacramento and growing with that town. So that team, when you think about that team, the one thing about that team is that team could score with anybody in the league. Now, we weren't necessarily the biggest team, and that was one of the mistakes the team made in those days, is that we would need a guy 6'11", 7 feet, and they kept drafting guys 6'7", and so we were always just small. LaSalle Thompson, 6'8", 6'9", probably 6'9", center for us. And, in those days, it took a lot of size to win. And, the thing that I enjoyed about that team is that we could score, and we were going to be in games. Sometimes we weren't good enough to finish the game, but it was going to be fun. It was going to be exciting. And the brand of basketball in those days were a lot of fun, and I think it really entertained the crowd.
Yeah, we had Mike Woodson on yesterday, and Woody said that they just broke that team up a little early because you guys, as you well know, playoff team your first year there. Here.
Yeah. Well, they made a couple moves, I think, for the wrong reasons. And thus, really hurt the team. And that's, that's kind of you make a great move or you make a bad move, and it does have an effect on the team. I love Mike Woodson. I always tease Mike and Eddie Johnson both because they couldn't dribble. So if I wasn't giving them the ball and spoon feeding them all day, all night, they would have never scored. And they know that. I'm still waiting on my check.
Reggie Theus joining us. Things really went cattywampus, when things changed for you guys and they traded you and everything. But, Reggie, one thing when I look at your career, and, obviously I watched you growing up and everything, and this is something my co-host here, drew to my attention. Your assist numbers were off the charts as well. Speak about that part of your game and how I looked at you as just a scorer, but you were dishing out the dimes also.
Well, my scoring always overshadowed the thing that I actually love to do almost as much as anything, and that's pass the basketball. I enjoyed passing the ball. The reason I was always, and I tell people all the time, I teach my kids, as a coach here at Bethune-Cookman, I tell our point guards and our guards that I always led my team in assists. And they go, how is that, coach? Whether I was playing the two guard, because I was one of the first combo guards to ever play the game. I was a combo guard before the word combo guard. And I was led my team in assists because I was always trying to score. I said, you have to play the game with the mentality. Basketball is a mentality. You have to play the game about trying to get the ball in the bucket. And if you're trying to score, let the defense decide what's going to happen next. If they step up, the easiest thing there is just find the open guy. And because of my mentality, it always allowed me to be a big scorer and also, get assists because, obviously I was a really good passer. People don't understand the difference between a guy that can handle the ball my size and that can really handle the ball. That ball was on a string. It was on a rope. And, you could do anything with the ball. And I think that sometimes it's a lost art in today's game because the truth is they don't play with contact. And we had to do all those things with contact. Mm-hmm. And so it was just a lot of fun for me to play that way. And I'd say even today, I'm able to use those lessons, with my guys today and talk about the things that we were able to accomplish as big guards. It's only been myself and Magic Johnson being a big guard, when a legitimately big guard when it comes to, being 6'7" and he's 6'9". So I think that it's something that, I'm very proud of and have a lot of fun.
Catching up with, of course, Reggie Theus, former Kings player and coach, 13-year NBA veteran, two-time All-Star, TV hoops analyst, and currently, as he said, head coach AD at Bethune-Cookman. Reggie, you have obviously a very unique perspective on the Kings' history, the good and the bad. So what does it say about how far this franchise has come that a guy DeMar DeRozan's stature says, oh, I want to be there?
Listen, that was always one of the hard things to deal with, is that, small market teams not being able to draw big time players. And, ultimately, as the money has grown, you can get paid anywhere. People want to go someplace where they feel at home. People want to go someplace where they sell out. People want to go someplace where basketball means something. And over the years, they went through a good stretch where the team wasn't very good, but now they're kind of turning the corner. They have opportunities to even better themselves. And DeMar DeRozan is a great example of that success. And I think over the last several years with the new management, the new owners, I mean, they're fantastic, by the way. When you think about, what they have going now, it's a positive thing. And that's just, that's going to bode well for all, free agents. And you can't win a championship, or you can't make it to the finals without free agents.
Yeah, Reggie Theus. And the thing about it too, Reggie, I maintain, when you look at, a successful organization, it starts at the top, ownership. But, from a player's standpoint, the development, the stableness of the organization, the culture, how important is that as you chase a championship?
Well, building culture is everything, and stability is everything. You can just look at historically speaking, no matter what franchise we're talking about, the franchise that have the most stability are the ones that typically win the most, because they don't just jump and fire people and, change the team and do all these things. And, you have to give the power to the people who really make a difference. When you think about the Lakers, when you think about Boston, when you think about San Antonio, when you think about those franchises that have long-standing success, it's been their stability. And I think that's part of the culture. When you have stability, when you have people that are coaching the team and are part of the organization that have a say-so, players tend to, grow and be a part of what you're doing, not you try to change and be a part of what they're doing. I'm all about the player empowerment, but sometimes it goes too far. And, players need to do their jobs and let management do their jobs. And I think there's a happy medium somewhere where, you can coexist. Mm-hmm. But, I know that the success of the franchises that have been, ultra successful have been the guys who've been able to run their teams and have good ownership that really put trust and let guys do their jobs.
Reggie, I wanted to ask you about your time coaching here, because your first year, the team improved by 5 games. I think you won 38 games first year here. And then the next year, slow start, and you were excused, and it was about a quarter of the way through the season. You had a veteran team, a lot of talented players. How close do you feel you guys were to becoming a solid team?
Yeah, and those couple of days, that at that time, I didn't have a lot of support. I was having management trying to tell me how to coach the team and who I should play, and that's the kind of stuff that destroys your team. Mm-hmm. So there was the ownership was going through transitions at the same time, so it was a tough time. Unfortunately, I was only a few games out of 500 that would have made the playoffs. If I had a little bit of support, it probably would have been a successful year. But at that moment, I don't even know if they were really concerned about being successful. I think they had in their mind what they wanted to do. I think I was, something that was appealing at the moment. But, it kind of sucked, to be honest with you, because I was sort of meteoric, in the college ranks. And although I thought it was an incredible opportunity to become the NBA coach, especially for the Sacramento Kings, which obviously I have such a great relationship there, it could have been a great thing because I had the ability to coach that team the right way, and I had the ability to really grind it out with those guys. But again, management controls a lot of that. it's really funny. I always tell people all the time, man, I went from being at the University of Louisville, going to the Final Four with Coach Pitino, like everything was going perfect, took that program and implemented it into New Mexico State. The team won 6 games the year I got there. Before I got there, we won 16 games and then went to the NCAAs and winning 25 games. I was fired up, getting things done. And I went to the Sacramento Kings. They offered me a job from a mid-major school. I get a chance to coach in the NBA. So that was just incredible. Something I couldn't pass up. Mm-hmm. And we had it rolling at New Mexico State. We went from 5,000 fans to almost a sellout every night.
Wow.
And so it was hard to turn down the money and, the opportunity. And I went from being the running my own program to being the last voice to really having a say so, to being the last guy on the totem pole. Basically, do it as you're told or you'll be out of here. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't going to work for me anyway.
Right.
So, it turned out the way it should have turned out, but it actually hurt my career in some ways because it took me a while to get back to the swing of things with coaching in college.
Yeah. Hey, Reggie, you bring up your time in Louisville, and I was there covering you guys. I remember that Final Four run. A player you had on that team, and I believe you coached, is our boy Francisco Garcia.
One of my favorites. One of my absolute favorites.
Give me something on Cisco. Tell me about Cisco.
Listen, Coach. Coach. Come on, Coach. He talks too much with his hands. Listen, I got Francisco paid. I got Beno Udrich paid. I got about 5 guys on that team paid because they had the best years of their career with me statistically, and because we were playing a really great style of basketball. But I told Francisco when I came there, I said, I helped you get where you are because I understand who you are, and now that I'm coaching you. I'm going to be able to give you the ball and coach you like the way I know you can and the way what you can do as a player. So it really worked out well because I knew him so well, and he thrived under my guidance. And I've always been a fan, and we were really good friends off the court, by the way, and that was great. The difficult thing was when I left, I knew we had great potential, but that's how the league is.
Reggie, what stands out to you about the job Mike Brown has done since taking over as coach here?
I know Mike. Listen, I coached and played against his son when he was in high school. My son and his son played against each other. So I've known Mike for a long time. And, Mike's been in some great situations. Mike knows how to manipulate the team and really coach the team. He's got great pedigree. And he's a simple guy who really just understands basketball, and he's been success. So players, you have to have some street credit with these players today. And Mike has great street credit from where he's been and who he's coached with, and he's seen it done right a lot of times. So I have such great respect for him and what he's accomplished. And there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to do the job that he's doing. And it's just by being logical. He's not pulling a rabbit out of his hat or anything like that. He's just coaching the team and doing what's logical and getting the guys to play for him. And that's and in today's game, it means a lot.
Reggie Theus joining us. Reggie, I know you're a coach and athletic director at Bethune-Cookman, at HBCU, historically black college. I'm about to do a football game this Saturday between Morehouse and Howard. And one of the things when I talk to the coaches, they talk about lack of resources, lack of facilities, how much they got to, get out there and stump for that. Can you just talk to me about that? And what can we do as a public, as a viewer, as a listener right now, to support HBCUs and their programs?
Well, if you don't mind me saying so, I when I got here at Bethune-Cookman, I have a Division I football team that doesn't have a practice field on campus. They don't have a laundry room. They don't have a equipment room. They don't have a locker room. And so if you don't have storage in football in Florida and you store your equipment in metal containers, what do you think is going to happen? A lot of bad things happen when you put sweat in a metal container. The culture and the resources are just so limited. I've been able to, Charles Barkley gave me a sizable donation in basketball. As the athletic director, I gave it to our football team, and I built them an on-campus synthetic football field for practice. I'm in the process right now of refurbishing an old weight room into a locker room. There was an old building that I'm turning into a football academic center, lounge, and also a laundry room and an equipment room. So the problem is it takes money to do these things. And, it's a shame. A lot of HBCUs, because, the lack of resources, our dormitories probably need about $200 million to actually, get our dormitories, in shape to where they actually, without any real issues, because the school's pretty old. But when you start to think about what I have been able to accomplish, and I'm having a conversation with the NFL, I'm trying to get to the NBA. And I always say that the players in basketball and football, they could do so much to help, HBCUs. I mean, they have to have, they're making so much money now, they have to have tax write-offs. So there's a way to, obviously help a school and really make a difference for a lot of athletes who deserve a chance to know what success looks like. And HBCUs are at a place where, it's a very nurturing place. And people have to understand HBCUs came around because, they weren't getting the opportunities at white colleges and PWIs, as they call them. And so the HBCUs really came about, because of that. But they need help. And our school in particular, because we're a private HBCU, so we don't get state funds. So those kind of things are really true to my heart and really dear. And I'm fighting hard to build the basketball program, but I'm also fighting hard to build our football program, because these kids deserve to know what success looks like. And, you have to remember that we're in this business to build successful people and to give them the tools to be successful, to give them a chance to realize their dreams. And, but in today's world, if you don't have the amenities to go along with it, it's hard to compete. So, yeah, we need some help. And, I'm always looking at the leagues and stuff and trying to, to let them know how much help we really do need. But thank you for asking that, because people need to know that HBCUs are really struggling, and it's not just a thing. It's an absolute.
Listen, Reggie, thank you. We can't imagine how busy you are. You're very gracious with your time. We're keeping you from your dinner. So thanks very much. We appreciate it. It's great catching up with you.
You owe me, you owe me a Marcooni's when I get there.
Oh, we got you.
I have a question for you now. Since, I'm number 10, you think that somebody needs to talk to the management? So, like, my jersey's never been retired there. Ooh. You really want to... what's going on here?
We're on it.
All right.
Yeah. We're on it. We'll get back to you. We'll get it done. We'll make it happen. Thank you very much, Reggie.
Reg, we'll talk to you, man.
We appreciate it.
Anytime, fellas. Anytime.
Yeah. Thank you. Reggie Theus.
Great stuff.
Yeah. If you missed any of that, you want to catch that on SactownSports.com. Stick around. We got to run. We'll be back with you tomorrow, but we got golf to go next on Sactown Sports.